Oh, okay. Where's clear then? In the meantime, I basically went here and, cleaned up a bit the area. One thing that we have unlocked here is an elevator, so let's see where it takes us.
How can you keep falling asleep in these conditions?
I mean, again, like he said, Shiro, is the essence of a wanderer. Alright, if I recall
The essence
correctly...
of hypothermia.
Yes. This, if I recall correctly... Okay. This, if I recall correctly, unlocks a shortcut that puts us back. Yes, there you go. We're close to the church with the bonfire, so now we don't have to do the entire trekking all over again. So let me just get to the bonfire here. Yeah, and Honore is already gone. So let's actually move, instead of actually moving, too forward, let's go back from the way we came, especially because up ahead there's a bit of a semi-difficult fight with, you know, a bonfire witch and two, swordsmen. So there you go. Take back the elevator. Alright, that means also having to deal with the dogs. Ugh. How I hate these. So unpredictable. Let's see if I can move without alerting the other ones. What is this? Hole ahead. That's not very mature. Yep. Miscreant! Exclamation mark. I mean, if I recall correctly, one of the words you can actually use for Elden Ring is instead dastard, so beware of ambush. Let's see if I jump onto this balcony here. Get a large titanite shard. Then let's take the ladder, which I don't think it's a step ladder, thankfully.
What's the difference?
Yeah, I checked. I think we talked about this in one of the previous parts, and we asked the question. I wanted to check in the meantime. Apparently, the whole thing between ladder and step ladder in Ace Attorney is a thing, technically, even in the Japanese version. It's just that their terminology between the two types of ladder is a bit more specific, and that's why there's the argument because
Oh,
it's
okay.
pronounced in potentially very different ways. So there is that. I don't actually remember how it was done for the original trilogy in my country, but I'm pretty sure it was still very similar because terminology for both ladder and step ladder is something that have an equivalent in my country's language. So well, so many of these witches. Alright, let's see if there's another one. I think probably there was one who was shooting me. Because yeah, if I got here on the door, they would have just bombarded me with spells. So let's get this blue bug pellet. Also, in the meantime, controlling the footage from the previous part, yeah, I noticed what was causing me frostbite. These pots, they're actually filled with, I guess, liquid nitrogen because it's causing me frostbite if I, get close to that while breaking them. Good to know. Alright, let's see. If I recall correct, yeah, actually, this is actually getting us very close to the boss, actually, believe it or not. So, maybe I can actually get properly up there. Yeah, there's just this guy with a scythe to actually, deal with. go. Just a couple of wave dashing was sufficient. Oh, there's another one. Ah. Jesus. Okay. There we go. Alright. Yeah, the fog gate actually gets us to the boss, so let's pop an ember and see if there is any help. Turns out there is one. Blackhand Gotthard. If you forgot, this guy helped us with the Pharaoh Legion, and there's another one here. Londor Pale Shade. Basically, this is a particular helpful NPC if we're considering we're doing the quest line of Uria. Neither of these are particularly effective against this upcoming boss, but they will actually provide a decent distraction, you'll be able to see. Because... we get the dual bow gesture. Because it's finally time to confront Pontiff Sulvian, the man himself. Time for coffee.
I was like coffee for a second. Huh?
Don't give up.
Confront the coffee.
And this guy is serious, you can tell he's serious because he has dual color sword, blue and orange. It's the marketing color. The major problem with this guy is that his attack have a high range and they change between fire and magic. The fire probably is the red while the blue is magic. I can make it because I'm not particularly... Yeah, I did it damage, but this guy has a lot of HP because of the boost from the co-op. I don't have that many Estus left. Yeesh. Oh yeah, halfway through it also this. He sprouts wings, much like the bird people, and creates a clone. Which means double the fun for everyone, except me. Thankfully the area of this cathedral is actually big enough for me to actually, deal with both of them, so it's never too cramped. But yeah, I don't think our chances are particularly good. I'll need to see if I have to explore a bit more if we want to, if we don't manage to beat him. I think it's still relatively doable, but I think we're teetering on the edge. The cloning is actually beatable, by the way, but Sulvian will just create a new one almost immediately, so, don't get your hopes up too much. Also, if you can hear at the music, the boss fighting this is actually pretty cool too. Come on! It's almost dead!
Pontiff Sullivan. That sounds more like...
Sulvian, but yes, it sounds like a bit like Sullivan.
That sounds like some posh guy's name.
I mean, the cat is British, so... There we go!
Ooh. We're not all posh.
I wasn't actually hoping, but yes, we got it first try, and by the skin of our teeth, so... So yeah, we finally dealt with this guy that caused so much suffering. If you forgot, this is the guy that orchestrated the entirety of the church that implied also the sacrifices. So let's check a BD Soul while we're at it, shall we? There we go. Soul of Pontiff Sulvian. One of the twisted souls steeped in strength. Pontiff Sulvian of Irythill imprisoned a god of the old royalty in the abandoned cathedral, to be fed to the devourer. Now, if I recall correctly, at this point, after beating him, I need to actually speak to Yuri again. And besides, I need to use also all these souls, so I'm gonna use this time to go back to the Firing Shrine to, to collect my my levels. Especially because if I think it's best if we actually move on to another direction instead of moving directly forward, for a very specific reason that I'll explain eventually when we get there. Basically, a lot of pre-planning. So first of all, actually, let me use this since I actually didn't even use the Undead Bone Shard to... There you go, strengthen our Estus Flask. Alright. Next, let's go to Yuria. And if I recall correctly, I can also send Greyrat to exploring again.
Oh, hello. Fine work, I say. Discovering Irythill in the Boreal Valley, all in a day's work. If the tales are true, it is home to old moon-worshipping nobles, and should be packed with treasure. What do you think? Shall I go and see what I can find?
Yeah, let's send him again. He's still a risky job, but you know, Greyrat knows what he's doing.
Worthy of that name.
Alright.
Goodbye. Do
Yeah. He will be back eventually. Alright, let's see if you has something to say.
Speak thy desire, honorable Lord of Hollows. Ah, greetings, our lord and liege. Good tidings.
Oh, really? Your
As
shipping
else
is kinda
is
gonna
ready.
be too far, Yuria, but sure, if you wanna be my
Time's right to
matchmaker,
greet her.
but I guess.
The girl awaits thee in
The
the
Hidden Darkmoon Chamber in
chamber
Anorlando.
of Anorlando.
Yuria, I think you got the wrong game. Anorlando was in the first
So must
title.
a true monarch become. Ah, good tide, the good.
But whatever, I guess you're just a little bit confused. We'll have to see. And let me use also this time to level up before proceeding forward, especially because we're
Welcome,
gonna need it.
Ashen ones of I was ashen. Very well. Then touch taken.
Alright, let's see. 3 levels. Let's put 1 and 2 endurance. Yes, the stamina is never enough.
Farewell,
There we
ashen
go.
one made of.
Alright, now we need to travel back to the distant manor. The bonfire will be unlocked right after the... well, it was right before the sewer level, basically. Alright, instead now we need to go down the stairs, which actually will lead us to where Siegward actually was telling us to go, technically. The Profaned Capital right after the dungeon. You thought you wanted to actually ambush me, you did it. Jesus. There you go. Alright, let me whip up the torch. Uh-oh. Whoa. I think there's another... yeah, fire sorceress. Ow. Stop doing that. Uh-oh, she grabbed me, no! Jesus.
Get over here.
Kinda. It's not a whip attack, but it's close. Okay, you know what? Fuck this. I'm out. Let's get down properly the stairs. Let's see if it's down here. If I recall correctly, yes. Oh, I'm invaded by Alva, Seeker of the Spurned. Who? Whomst? Where art thou? Oh, there it is. Let's see if I can make it to the bonfire at the very least. Yes, because this is the next dungeon, the Irythill dungeon, an actual proper dungeon. Ouch. Oh, I guess I don't have to pop the ember. Because I want to see, I forgot if down the stairs there's something else that I can collect. But since I was close to the bonfire, I should be able to just get my souls back immediately. Yes, there you go. Alright, let's... No, actually, the stairs just disappear. Let's see what the says. Try jumping off. No.
But it'll be funny.
Why would he do that? Is he stupid?
He just wanted to have fun.
Whee!
No. Alright. Since this is a dungeon, an actual proper dungeon, as you can see there are a lot of cellars that will be open in time, creating a lot of shortcuts. Now here, I have to preface this, because I will not be able to hear it, but you guys might, and you know, and I will be in post. One of the ways this dungeon loves to have fun is that in some of the treasure corpses, scream when you actually get it. They do not actually harm you, but they're just there to have a cheap jump scare provided at you. So I cannot actually guarantee that you won't be surprised, basically.
Alright. Well, all I'm hearing is pot smashing at the moment, so...
Okay. Got a rusted coin.
Oh, yep, there we go. That was loud.
What I don't know who wanted to have fun in the dev team, but it's not working.
They were being silly.
Well, you kinda need it because the particular dungeon is a bit mean-spirited in some ways. So, if I recall correctly, we're about to get a sample very soon.
And what design? It's a hallway.
There you go,
Yay.
the jailer. These particular enemies are bastard mostly for a very simple reason. They bring back a mechanic that was used in Demon Souls. Thankfully, I managed to push this guy down, so he won't be able to use it that much against me, but you'll be able to see plenty enough. Basically, aside from an actual fire poker that I can use to literally brand you to death, lovely, they also have a special mask that, if their eyes turn red, they will literally stare you to death. And I mean in a sense that your maximum HP will keep decreasing until it gets to 1. And it's not really something that you do want against enemies at this point in the game. So, handling these enemies has to be done with care, because otherwise, ow.
So this dungeon is just a great time.
Yeah, like right now I literally got hot iron branded to death. They're particularly nasty with the grab attack. And I get the idea. It's also, you know, the dev team understood what kind of a pain in the ass was, because this is one of the few dungeons that actually does not have a boss fight at the end. It's just, you know, it just continues to the next one. Alright. Moving on. It also has a couple of these minor hollow enemies, you know, that are closed in jail, so they themselves do not provide that much harm, but they are a bit more of a nuisance potentially, so... Go! Again, thankfully the jailers are not too hard to actually deal with, but you have to get there. And, you know, with all the shit going on, it might be a bit tough. Regardless, if you're having a group attack, they have to be still your top priority. And even after you deal with them, your health will only start, your maximum HP will start to regenerate bit by bit. And of course, the actual health will not come back, you have to still heal. So, again, fun times. It is oppressive. There you go, atmosphere. But again, this is a literal, you know, jail. Like, I don't know what I was expecting next. It's like that scene with the dead dog box. I forgot what the series is. I think it's The Office. Gone.
Sorry.
Gone.
When you talked about the screaming, I was expecting to have to listen to, like, screaming in the distance, but no, it's just very loud in your ear.
Yeah, it's like your average Blumhouse production jump scare. Also, it's a return of the caged enemies, which, again, they're not too much of a problem, but lovely as always. Thankfully, once again, much like before, you can kind of see when they are, you know, when they stand out compared to the ones that are just a background element. So, let's see what we have here. Dark Soul of an Angel Soldier! Alright, there are also the enemies with the leeches. I forgot about this.
Oh, I hate leeches.
Thankfully... Thankfully it's not as bad as it was in Demon Souls, but... there you go. Demon Souls even has an entire, you know, boss that is actually a golem made of leech, literally called the Leechmonger. Mostly because the poison swamp of that level, that game, is an entire conglomerate of levels, you know, and each stratum basically adds a new level of fucked up-ery stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Although what it culminates in is actually one of the more, you know, somber moments of the entire game. Again, it's a neat way of pacing. If Demon Souls ever gets to have the modern version, at this point the remake, gets to have the PC port, you know, I'll probably handle that. We'll have to see if, you know, what happens. Especially because, I mean, we get the Sorcerer set. Especially because Bluepoint has been very quiet recently, you know, with what they've done. So...
I haven't heard that name in a while.
Yeah. Again, the Demon Souls remake had a bit of a rough problem. Mostly, as I mentioned, in the music department. Like, I get what they were trying to do, having a bit more, you know, orchestral way to actually make the score resemble the one of Bloodborne. Peter also said that a couple of times. But I'm sorry, it really doesn't catch the spirit of the synth that the original had.
Does the original, like, is it a bit like this where music is very rarely used?
Yes, it did started the thing about having the music relegated to the boss fights, but again, even the remake kept that. The problem is that the music that they used tried to be more bombastic. Like, it even showed the making of, if I recall correctly, we saw the State of Play that actually had it, where they had an entire church organ also to use, so, you know, they had good resources. It's just that I argue the mentality was not in the right place. Like, let me give just one example. One of the major, you know, boss fights that you get is against a gigantic dragon, the dragon god as it's called. The way the fight is structured is that the beast is way too big for you to actually take it on, so it's a stealth section for you to get into specific places where you can use ballistas to actually, you know, deal properly with the thing. But the thing is that the music reflects that by having a very delicate title score that you need to be careful. Yeah, hold on, give me a second. There you go. We need to be careful with. It's very quiet. It reflects the situation and everything. While instead the remake tries to be very scary, bombastic, and tries to tell you hurry up, you're in danger, So it still tries to convey the sense of urgency, but the tone is completely flipped. Instead of being quiet, having you to go around, instead it gives you a sense of dread. Which, again, if it's the first time, it probably will still be a good alternative, but if you know about the original, it can actually be a problem.
I quite like the quiet for these, honestly.
I'll post later on, in our chat, a side-by-side music comparison, so you get an idea, basically, just the example that they made. Again, not all of the remixes are bad, and on its own, in a vacuum, the soundtrack of the remake is perfectly fine, for what it wants to do. But the original had such a level of, iconic soundtrack that I kind of wish at the very least they included it as a toggle on and off, which again, a lot of remakes and remasters have been, on and off on the matter, mostly because of licensing stuff, Sometimes they cannot be allowed to do that, other times, they just can't, and we have to deal with just the remake stuff. It's a thing that I understand, actually, when it happens, even if, I wish, we could do otherwise. Go. Alright, let's get out of here while I collected the sword. Let's see, can I open the door? Does not open from this side. Okay. Let me just deal with these enemies then. Maybe there's a key somewhere. Alright. Let's see. Large Titanite shard? No. I don't need it. While here, no. Oh, there you go. We get a pale pine resin. Friend. Let's see. We found Gollum's dragon cousin, I guess.
Oh, hello.
Hi. Moving on.
Roland? I don't know.
This is what you see. This is part of that. I don't even remember how long, period of time Gollum was imprisoned in Barad-dûr. We're still there despite everything.
They've forgotten.
For context, since you probably only have heard of that game, Shirai. Basically, to make a very long story short, the video game about Gollum from Lord of the Rings tries to explain stuff that he was doing, and part of the story that was told in Tolkien's book when told that he was prisoner at one point. The problem is that the game takes this to an excruciating level and making practically the first half of the game being like that, and it's not fun in the slightest as an experience.
Oh.
Anyway, we got the Jailbreaker's key to the barred window in the Irythill dungeon, but the window only leads to a bottomless black pit below, and above, a paltry view of the ruined Profaned Capital. The very architecture appears to be a cruel joke the jailers played on would-be escapees. So it's the Shawshank Redemption, except this time you get stared to death. Good to know. Oh jeez, there's 3 of them, I did not realize.
I only saw one of them.
It's literally you came to the wrong neighborhood. Okay, one down. Their speed is also very deceptive. You think they will, you know, be relatively, you know, slow in their movement, but no, these motherfuckers can actually go very fast.
They also have range.
Again, that fire poker is deadly. You really need to watch out. Alright, let's see. Let's collect a bit of health. There we go. This should suffice. There we go. Oh, there's another one of the golem-like creature, but if I recall correctly, this one is hostile, so let me see. Ah, I forgot about also the caged enemies. This one actually got me. There we go. No, okay. Especially also because there's another thing, the bonfires in this are relatively scarce, so it's not a very long dungeon, but, you know, it's one where you wish there was a mid-checkpoint nonetheless. Alright, let's give it a try to this guy. Okay, it's doable enough. We get a simple gem. If you forgot, the gems are basically there to power up some of your weapons into different, you know, way. The simple, you know, gem, basically it's an attribute. Basically, it raises just the attack, you know, without anything special going on. So if it's just you want that extra raw power in a weapon. But considering the other type of attributes, it's not super recommended outside of getting you an achievement trophy. Let's see. Yeah, no, I'm not opening this. Alright. Briefly out here, and you can see in the distance, raise the bright spot, and try. Again, another try jumping. In the distance you can see the Profaned Capital, it's actually down there, but don't be deceived by the height, this is too high for us to jump over the bridge yet. We need to keep going and, you know, go deeper. Whom. If I recall correctly, there's another jailer here. Thankfully, if I recall correctly, this one doesn't have the death stare, but and do not have the fire poker, but they compensate by having different, more deadly weapons.
Of course.
Yeah, one of them has a crossbow, another has a cleaver. These people really were unqualified for their jobs.
I have to stop something.
Yeah.
Even here.
Oh goody, it's a chest! Alright, it's another edition of Spot the Mimic. So, let me use also the binocular just to give you a better context and view. What do you see? What do you say, guys? Do you think it's A, a mimic, or B, not a mimic? Dweebs.
I don't trust treasure chests as a mimic.
Shiri?
I'm just looking at the view now. I think it's fine. It doesn't seem to be moving.
Alright then, when it's the coin toss again. Dweebs, please be the judge this time around. Use the Google coin.
Hey Siri, toss a coin, heads or tails?
You are heads, Dweebs, Shiri's tails.
Tails.
That means Shiri, let's open up!
God.
Hold on, give me just a second because I was still having the... let me drink just in case because I generally forgot if it's a mimic or not. And it's a mimic! God fucking damn it!
It wasn't moving!
You sure? Just because you sure these things learn.
I think the chain was also a big clue.
Well, what about the chain specifically?
Basically, if it's a normal chest, it is curled up. While if it's a mimic, it's actually protructing, upward. It's a bit hard to explain. I will give you a screenshot later.
Okay, because I didn't do that on purpose.
At this point, Shiro, I don't believe you.
Are you really sure?
Silly risks you
Right.
take.
Shiro, are you really sure you haven't actually watched Free Ren at this point?
I haven't. I probably won't.
Because that poor girl is practically obsessed with actually getting into mimics.
Was she birthed from a mimic, or is she a mimic herself?
No, she just has a lot of bad luck when it comes to adventuring.
She's just an old lady.
Ow. Yeah, let me see if I can just speed run my way through. Oh, there's a crystal lever, not even you.
I mean, Alice would be happy with what just happened, but I tried.
Does Alice like, luring players into mimics?
She likes mimics.
Funny enough, if I recall correctly, these more classic quote unquote, these more iconic designs of, chests with teeth, and anything. If I recall correctly, that was actually an idea for Akira Toriyama for the early Dragon Quest game, because the early monster manual for D&D showcased, if I recall correctly, a more generic type of design for the mimic. I'll need to check again just to be sure if it's that specific way, that source is correct. But I seem to remember it is that way. And subsequently, all other, fantasy settings, kept this.
I think they're kind of like puppies to Alice.
Lovely. So yeah, let's put this puppy to sleep, so we can actually get the pick up the item was inside a Nestor shard, which is actually very useful. Sorry, I'm not gonna fight. Yeah, I'm not gonna fight him now because I'd rather just move on with this dungeon. Let's see. Oh goody, more jailers. This one actually has a mullet. Who are you? Eustace from Courage the Cowardly Dog. Thankfully, there you go. My swooshing around with the Pharaoh Keith sword allows me to actually literally spin dashing my way through and hit multiple enemies at the same time. Shank. There you go. Let me get this item. A soul of a weird warrior. Yeah, me too. Alright, let's get down from the ladder. Open up. Oh goody, there's another giant. Let's see if I can just quietly move around. Turns out I can't quietly move around. I probably will have to wake him up. The things that I do just to pass. Oh, and he one-shot me. Lovely. As it showcased, I can still, easily move through very fast, so... I'm just gonna try to ignore as many enemies as possible to move through where I went. There we go. Actually, because I left, if I recall correctly, still a decent amount of souls down there, so it would be a shame if I actually, you know, lose them. If I recall correctly, you can also backstab the jailers, but, you know, considering the urgency for you to fight them, you might as well just, you know, charge full frontal assault them, so... Coming through. Nothing to see here.
Please.
Here we go. Yeah, I'll probably deal with these three guys because... Go. Ow. Yeah, for some reason the crossbow of one of the jailers actually inflict bleeding. I don't remember if there are any particular projectiles that actually do inflict bleeding. And again, crossbows are usually one of the weapons that I tend to never use for these kind of games. It's a shame because, again, I think I mentioned in another part, either in this run or either Dark Souls 2, because again, it's neat to see the weapon variety, but the fact that there are clearly more favorites than others, it's a bit of a shame. The DLC for Elden Ring did actually provide the new interesting weapon designs just for that. Again, it's another reason why the 40 price tag is actually very well earned for that game. So at the very least, you know, there was an idea of what to do to keep the interest going. Alright, let's see. Come on. No. This is not working as intended. I'll need to think a bit outside the box.
I thought they were sleeping for a moment
Yeah,
because they just kind of flopped off.
Yeah, the giant was sleeping technically, but I had to wake up. You know, poor bastard. Oh yeah, another thing that I forgot to mention, the poker of the jailer also a slight minor curse effect that actually slows you down if you get hit for a bit. So again, it kind of also makes sense in universe why it would be like this. It's a perfect tool for the prisoners, so they also don't get away. But it's a combination of the fact that it's just there to mess you up. But it's otherwise it's actually quite ingenious. Alright, let's keep moving forward now. Alright, let's see if popping an ember actually does something by moving my health a bit up. There we go. Let's also deal with the cleaver guy. Go. There we go. Let's then sprint for the ladder. Bye! Get the souls back. Alright, let's see. I think it's still a bit too high for me to jump down. Because I could try to do that to ignore the giant, but I fear the fall will actually kill me. Do I have some prison stone? Let me see. Yes, there you go. Alright, I need you two to be my test for this. You'll still be delayed, but you can tell me. I'm about to toss a prison stone. These items are specifically designed to measure the height of something. If the stone breaks on impact, it will produce, a cracking sound, like glass shattering. If it does that, as I'm about to toss, that means that the fall is gonna kill me. So, it should be doing...
Okay.
Hold on, give me just a second, because this one decided to just drop onto the normal ground. It should be happening for this one. There you go.
We just saw the first one.
Mm-hmm. Actually, also because there are rats down there, I need to be careful. Yeah, consider...
That noise was very quiet.
So it should be doable, because, if it actually cracks, it should be actually say that... yeah, it is doable, but there are
What did you hear, Whips?
fucking rats.
Oh, Dwibs is boobed. Okay. But yeah, it was very quiet, so I don't know
No,
if it
no,
actually
no, no.
smashed or not.
Okay. There was also, if I recall correctly, there would have been a visual component of the stone physically breaking. So technically speaking, the jumping was doable, but the rats killed me, so it's still not doable.
Okay.
Guess I'll need to still wake the giant and then move on. Or I might just get the souls back and, move forward on the other side. There is still something that we can do without having to proceed forward to the other side. So let's get the most out of it. Ow.
Have I missed anything?
I tried a different way to actually, get around the giant waves, but it was no go because of rats, unfortunately.
I just hate that when it happens. You try to do something, but a bunch of rats get in your way.
As usual, the typical British problem.
Ah, yes. Rats.
To be fair,
No.
Waves, if there's something that the tabletop industry from British makers actually told me, you guys up there have a particular, fear of rats taking over your country.
Well, I mean, we had a bubonic plague, so...
To be fair, that one hit pretty much the entirety of Europe. So it wasn't an exclusive kind of thing. Alright, let's see if my souls are still here. Yes, thankfully. So here's what we're gonna do. Collect the souls. And kiss our ass goodbye for the time being to the Farling Shrine, so we can also power up our Estus.
Just what needs.
There you go.
Welcome us.
Let me level up
Very
quickly.
well taken up. Farewell, Ashen One.
Alright.
Oh. Okay, music's about music for a Game of Thrones.
Alright. Going back a bit to where we beat Pontius Sylvian, we're gonna move on a bit, from there to unlock something that was mentioned that we can do before actually moving completely forward.
Well, if
Go on.
if ever From Software got Ramin Djawadi to compose one of these games, then who knows?
So far they had mostly, not always, but mostly, Japanese composers, so who knows. Maybe, an help for that, who knows. Also, this area looked a bit familiar. But even the one in the distance actually does look a bit familiar, but nah, it's just a coincidence.
That's fine.
Alright, if I recall correctly, you get ambushed by 2 people. Wait, how do I get up there? Okay, forgot. Also, a lot of dead giants. Damn, wonder what happened. I also have to be particularly careful because this is a preferred area for PvP. So a lot of people, you know, might be tempted to just invade you, which I fear it might have happened now, unfortunately.
Oh.
Because the screen hasn't popped up yet, but there's a fog gate here, and unless it's actually loading the area. Also, some of these monks are tossing fireballs like there's no tomorrow. Jeez. Probably need to deal with them. Yeah, there you go. An Aldritch Faithful. Basically, again, this is an area of one of those covenants that, you know, respond to a character, you know, arriving in the area by summoning a player that is part of said covenant. And I'm not really in condition to deal with PvP right now. So, here's hoping that this guy actually has a bit more mercy on me. Again, I'm still wondering, you know, that the fact that right now people are still playing the PS4 version this regularly to this kind of, you know, PvP content. Usually everyone will just use the PC version. Ow. There you go. That one. I wonder, okay, usually an invader would have located me already right now. I wonder what happened. I mean, I'm not complaining, but I'm also worried. Let me see, do I still have one of the seeds of the giant? It's an item basically that allows me to turn the enemies against an invader, but I'm afraid I do not have it. Oh well. This treasure, more large titanite shards, which I don't need it, fortunately. And if I recall correctly, I do not have the means to open that door right now. No, in fact, yeah, because it does not open from this side. Basically, that door leads to another covenant and one of the more tough encounters in the entire game with 2 Soviet beasts at the same time. Okay, I clearly got invaded, but where is that guy?
He invaded just so he could relax.
Yeah, okay, sometimes it actually happens if you're particular. Oh, yeah, he decided to go home. There you go, Dweebs.
Oh.
You got your answer. Good to know.
I have to go now.
My planet needs me. Whoop!
Literally just passing through, come on.
Does not elaborate. I'm not complaining, but I'm still curious nonetheless.
Some mercy.
Uh-oh. I think I also lured the attention of one of the NPCs that were down there. Those are not technically NPC in Phantom Invaders, but they are basically have a specific preset that are somewhat more unique one. You'll be able to see if I manage to actually get to them after I deal with these monks. So monks again. Alright, 2 remaining. There you go. There you go. Alright. Moving on. Let's see if I can spot them from down here. Where are they? Oh, there you go. Yeah, it's a bit hard to spot. One of them, basically, if I manage to trigger it, you'll be able to see him. One of them is basically dressed like Jon Snow in Game of Thrones, believe it or not. Which goes to show that From Software had a boner for that franchise even before Elden Ring. There he is. Yeah, this particular set is almost identical to the Night Watchers. Oh, fuck. Here you go, 1 down, 1 to go. Well, with the haircut, it's a bit hard to spot within all the action, but with the haircut this guy looks a bit like Alan Rickman, actually. So there you go, Dweebs, this is what happened after Die Hard 1. Instead of dying, the villain from there migrated, got isekai'd to this place.
Where he died.
Unfortunately. We get the Drang Twin Spears.
Yeah, could you imagine that? You survive a horrific situation, only to get isekai'd into another world, and then die immediately after.
I mean, to be fair, that was one of the memes that people did when the early seasons of Game of Thrones happened, where Sean Bean as Boromir says, "Oh, I betrayed Frodo, but you know, if I get my chance in the next life, I will be able to be a better person." And then it cuts to, you know, Lord Stark being executed. He's like, "Fuck." Anyway, there's the Road Razor. Hi. Thankfully, this guy seems to have a bit of an etiquette when it comes to the duels. Again, it's a tradition as old as, believe it or not, Star Wars Battlefront. The whole, you know, bow before a PvP duel. And this is kept here. Wow, this guy kinda sucked. Poor Rose Raider. But, you know, I appreciate the effort nonetheless, I guess. A Titanite scale, which we don't really need. Yeah, again, the architecture here seems to be familiar, but I cannot put my finger on it. Ow. Okay, now this definitely feels familiar. Someone is throwing beach umbrellas again at me. Yeah, more Silver Knights. It was a bit hard to spot, but in one of the room with the Silver Knight in the previous part had a portrait of Guinevere, the goddess that actually gave us the Lord Vessel in the first game. But again, I wonder why all these callbacks specifically in this area to the first game. And I died.
Yeah, that sums everything up.
Okay, Dweebs, someone left a comment. Can you actually, do you see if you can actually see it?
Just give me a moment. I don't see any comments here.
Okay, well, again, it might not have popped up on, on your stream, alas. Alright, one last attempt, and then we'll call it a day, no matter what happens. And I will not pop an ember in this case, because, otherwise I will get invaded again. If I recall correctly, the 2 NPCs do not respawn, so I should be able to have more smooth sailing by going down the down path with the 2 dead giants. Sort of a weary warrior. Oh no, actually one of them is alive, I forgot. How comical.
Just wanted to go home, but no, just giant troll appeared out of nowhere.
Well, to be fair, it wasn't, out of nowhere, and it wasn't even a troll, technically.
From afar, it looked like a troll.
Ow. Okay, I got back the souls. Ow. Yeah, the Silver Knights are not, thankfully, are only a problem when they start using lightning attack. Alright, I think this is the right moment to call it a day. Alright, so, tune in for the next part, where we continue a bit the progression through the rest of the weirdly familiar architecture of the Boreal Valley, and then we'll go back to the cell to continue the journey down there. So see you for that.
See ya.
See ya.